Hi, everyone. It's Arthur, and thanks for stopping by on this Sunday for our Sunday solo show. And it's about 60 degrees here in Los Angeles, 62 degrees, and it's 3:30 Pacific time on the 27th. So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you all had a great week. A lot of craziness, as everyone knows. These last weeks have been insane, but they've also been insane as far as subscriptions are concerned. And I have to thank everybody again. I hit 21,000 subscribers, and I could not have done it without you guys. It just helps the channel. It helps the channel grow and get the voices and heard what I have to say out there. Also, I did, as I said I was going to do, I did get a new faceless video up regarding why we sage. So check that out. It's in the Timeless Tools for Fast Results playlist. And what else? I'll be on a show tomorrow night with Ali and Marina, and then Tuesday night with Mel for Aloha Tuesdays. So if anybody's looking for a reading, just wait a minute. I have it all here. You can check out arthureaseyourmind.com. In the back, helping me with questions, is Sherry, a Voices in the Swamp. She just did, she's at swampvoices@gmail.com. And also, I want a good shout out to Evelyn at Life After Life NDE. The show was taped a while back, but it's been getting views, and as I get views, I'm getting subscribers. In fact, Sherry just did an interview with her last night, so I'm anxious to see what her video turned out. And again, it's all thanks to you guys that help us get moving forward and getting the word out. And it's just amazing, you know. So I said I'm at 21. I tease everyone and said, let's go for 50. And then my friend said, go for the 100. Okay. They want to see the little, thing in the background. This is I have 100,000. In the meantime, as always, don't stop. Everybody's saying, what do we do? What can we do? What can we do regarding all the insanity that's going on politically? Still, continue your representatives. Stay on top of it. Call, email, snail mail, all of it. And how do you get there? Check out 5calls.org. It'll get you to where you need to be and tell you how to get there. Also, I always put this up. Goods unite us. I like knowing where I'm spending my money. And it's going to go to a place who donates money and supports the candidates I support. Okay? And basically, if 100% of the proceeds that they have go to the Republican Party, I'm kind of left leaning. You didn't notice, and progressive. So, yeah, they're not gonna get my money. And I will be honest. I was surprised there was a couple of places out there when I saw where the money was going. I was really disappointed. And I no longer shop at those places. And always, my guided meditations, they're available on here free on YouTube, but they have videos. If you want to bypass all that, you can get them on Amazon and iTunes, Apple Music. So it's just put in the search engine, Arthur Ease Your Mind, all 16 will show up. Also, like I was talking about, I do have the new playlist of Timeless Tools for Fast Results. And this one that just went up is about why we sage. It's called Smudging 101 with a modern twist. And we sage so we raise the vibration of the room, basically. And there's nothing wrong with that, is there? So, and the next one I'm working on right now is how to love yourself. Actually, it's a video I put up when I first was putting videos up on YouTube. I had no content. So like, I'll put this up. I was like maybe 12 years ago. I did that, maybe a little bit longer. And it's just a minute. Actually, it's in the Timeless Tools, but I redid it as a faceless video. And it's just how to love yourself. So that's the next one going up. Then I'm working on a fun one about, did you know that you can actually feng shui your car, stay from accidents, and how to stay safe with a feng shui car. So I'm calling it Good Karma, Carma. So we'll see that later on, and also some stuff on Neville Goddard techniques, more Tesla, and other things. Okay, and if there's something you would like me to look into for you, please send me a note. Go to my website, go to contact us, and you can write me, and I do read them eventually. Eventually. So I do owe some people some responses to emails. So so that's about it. We did get some questions on the posts. However, what I'm noticing, most of the post questions actually end up being the same questions here on the show. So we'll just combine them all together, okay? So without further ado, here we go. And so we start some questions here. Annalise, hello. My angel from Denmark. Hi, Arthur. Will the people in Ukraine and Russia be able to celebrate Christmas time in peace? I pray or hope that see you tomorrow morning. Good morning. Or good morning. Let's see. Well, first of all, it's like, is the war going to be over by Christmas? I still feel there's going to be, I don't feel it's completely settled, but I do feel this Christmas, it's not going to be like it has been in the past. I really feel it's going to be, it's winding down, put it that way. It's just how it's going to happen is to be determined. I feel once somebody may no longer be in office, things get resolved a lot faster. Okay? Hi, Melissa. Do you see a peace agreement with Ukraine and Putin will follow? Will Trump and U.S. finally support Ukraine? I mean, the U.S. is already supporting Ukraine. Trump, it was interesting, he did write on one of his long diatribes that after Russia did what they did to Ukraine, when they said they weren't going to, Putin saying stop, Trump saying stop, Putin, or, like he's really going to listen. But he did wrote that, I think, they want the war to keep on going. He wrote in his True Social, which is true. But it's going, psychically, I want to say by March of 2026 is all, that's when I feel everything is peace. Like agreements, things are signed. It could be earlier than that, but no later than, okay? Because I know you want timelines, but I can't give you an exact timeline on that one. I want to say no later than, okay? Let's hope it's earlier. But thanks for asking. Mystical Magic. Will the Supreme Court be able to stop the deportations? If so, how? Well, they're going to stop. I mean, it's not the Supreme Court already issued, they have to stop. And the thing is, I don't feel it. And let me clarify something. When I say I will feel or I see, it's not coming from me. I was raked over the coals on the show the other couple weeks ago for saying I feel and we don't want your opinion. We want the psychic opinion. This is my psychic opinion. Okay. Will they be able to stop the deportations? I get a yes on how. Don't ask. It's going to happen. Okay. It's like you get a cake from the bakery. Do you ask them how they baked it? No, it's a cake. The deportations will stop. If you want, I can pull one of the little creepy kid cards. And it came up as classified knowledge. So it will be done. Okay? Thanks for asking. Artemis RN. Even Arthur. With the arrest of the judge in Wisconsin, who is doing her job, do you see SCOTUS stepping in. I know time is fluid, but do you see us with more judges arrested? Will this last? First of all, they're saying that there's a lot more that meets the eye that's going on with this judge, according to them. Now, where this was a political hit is basically the judge was arrested in the middle of the parking lot in the courthouse. Usually, when something like this goes down, they're told what's coming down. They have the option to turn themselves in. They did not give her the option of turning herself in. They arrested her right there. That was a political statement. And then they went on Fox and talked all about it, which they're not supposed to really do. And then Kash Patel's putting all this stuff up on X, which is not a government-sponsored website. Well, I guess it is now, but it's not technically a government site. And he says something like, we believe. Well, show me the facts. So in the meantime, this is going to blow up in their face. They're trying to, I feel like, again, they're trying to, like, that shock and awe of, we arrested a judge. And also it's like, you know, his ratings are going down. They're in the toilet. His tariffs are not doing what he says they're going to do, and everybody knows it. It's just causing chaos with the rest of the world. The stock market is tanking. He's tanking. His whole administration is tanking. Everything's going downhill. So they have to make a political statement. So look over here. We just arrested a judge. And so the people that are like on the fence, oh, Trump's not giving us what we want. Oh, he arrested a judge, and it's about deportation. Yeah. It's all smoke and mirrors, people. It's not. They're not going to keep on arresting judges. I mean, I feel they'll try 2 more, and it's all going to bite them in a big hiney, and maybe even in the diaper. Okay. But thanks for asking. I hope that helped. What is Steve Miller's fate? Did you ever see a picture of the Hindenburg? Going down in flames. Don't ask me when. It's going to happen, though. Hi, Jolynn. Aloha. Did Vance's meeting with the Pope have any effect on him? On who, Vance or the Pope? Because when I look at the picture of the Pope looking at Vance, like, all I kept hearing is, what a putz. And Vance, yeah, there's no effect on him. Because, I mean, when he turned around and, like, started arguing with the Pope, like, well, my opinion, no, you don't argue with the Pope. It's like talking back to God if you're really a Catholic. But he wasn't a Catholic. He was pretending to be a statesman. So, and it was all done for an audience of one, the Orange Menace. No, he has no conscience, so no, it wouldn't mean anything to him. You know? Why can't he have a meeting with Trump and we get the same results? Just kidding. Hi, Patty. Will a recording be released of conversation between Putin and Trump showing that Trump is a traitor? If not, what? If not that, what? There's paperwork. There's just paperwork. There's witnesses. There's a lot of things here that I feel is continuing being compiled secretly. And it's going to happen. Okay, I hope that answers your question. We did that question. Moonstone Girl, do you see 45 being arrested in May for treason? I keep getting this. Thank you. I'm not. Yeah, they're going to arrest him like they did a judge in the middle of a parking lot. I don't think so. I see that in time. I've always seen they do escort him out of the White House, and it may be in a gurney, handcuffed. Not in May. Okay. Well, my prediction has started. The whole mirror thing cracking was started on the Ides of March. And then as we got into April, everything was each day would be another WTF day built on the next one. And then June, July is when that's when I feel receipts start being shown. Stuff is going to start coming out from here, from there, everywhere about what happened with the election. And that's when a lot of people in the House are going to be questioning, do we impeach this man? Or does impeachment is already written up, but they just haven't been, like Mike Johnson is going to let that get on the House floor? No. So, but I do feel eventually it does. So, if that answers your question, I don't see them rest in May. I wish it was. The BRICS nations are too quiet. What are they up to? Watching? Just watching. They're not going to. I don't feel in the long run BRICS will be able to take over the dollar. They'd like to, but I don't see it happening. I mean, it looks like if Trump is in for 4 years, it would, but he's not going to be in 4 years. Okay. They're watching. Hi, Josie. Will we be able to celebrate this 4th of July with Trump out of office? I don't feel he's going to be out of office. But I don't see the parade. I feel the parade will pass him by. And for his birthday, I don't see it happening. So we'll see what happens on that one. I don't see his face getting up on Mount Rushmore either. So, thank you, Artemis. Thank you so much. It all helps the channel. It really does. Thank you for your generosity. Hi, Jill Schaefer. Are Trump's minions not telling him everything and or lying and running things themselves, i.e. Steve Miller, saying the SCOTUS decision was 9-0 in favor of DJT and China deals were being made, not. I don't feel he's being told everything because when they were on Air Force One going to Rome, somebody asked him about I think it was a female reporter asked about the fact that Vladimir Putin took out one of his generals, car blew up. And he goes, he had not heard. He goes, what happened? He never heard about it. He says, like, this is the first time he's hearing it. If you're the president of the United States, do you think, unless maybe he's not reading his little daily reports, maybe they don't know how to draw those things in crayon and, in a coloring book style so he can read them. But, yeah, because she even said, we're not in the middle of deals right now with Trump. We're not talking. And Trump, oh, yeah, we're having these great conversations and all this. And he's saying, we're not. Remember he did the same thing with Mexico? Well, oh, we have these great agreements. And then President of Mexico said, no, we're not. I mean, he's like, he puts it out there like it's fact. So as people get it, hooked on it, and then it's not true. It's kind of like when people file lawsuits. It gets in the news, oh, so-and-so suing so-and-so. But sometimes they just do it to get the headlines, and then it's pulled. And so nothing ever happens to it, but you remember the headline. So that's what he does. He puts it out there all the time. Even though people are saying it's not true, he doesn't care. Okay. Thank you for the question. And we have 1574 in the room. And Sherry's giving me something here. Okay. Hi, Bonnie. How is Trump feeling since he got a cool reception at the funeral and Zelensky was applauded and Biden was made welcome? You know, he's such a petty man in the back of his, if he's thinking when he wasn't sleeping, it's the fact that he looks at these people, I'll get you. It's like it's like this is the one thing, he's a petty bully. He didn't like it at all. And also the fact that he was given the third tier of seating, not the first or second, but the third tier of seating. And basically due to France's request. The thing is, though, he believes his own PR. He believes people telling him what they tell him. Oh, they may have not. I mean, did you see Macron? Didn't even shake his hand. He shook the hand of Zelensky, and they talked a while. And Trump was trying to get in between there, and Macron never shook his hand. So, and Biden was there. He hated the fact that Biden was there. Is what I picked up. And you know, one of the magazines said something, or papers said something. They had pictures of Biden doing some selfies with some individuals from other countries. They're happy to see him, and I don't think they should have been criticizing. They're taking selfies at a funeral. Well, things hadn't started yet, so I feel it was, and everyone was happy to see him in his beautifully tailored black suit. You know, talk about decorum. I mean, shouldn't somebody from the White House should have told Trump, you wear black? But I swear he probably knew it, but did this on purpose. If they had let him get away with wearing a MAGA hat, he probably would. And I wonder he didn't wear a bright red tie. But he looked like the clown. He didn't need the big red nose, I can tell you that. Thank you, Mystic. Desert Mystic. Thank you so much. It's so sweet of you. No, I really do appreciate that. And when I say it goes to the channel, it goes to the channel. Because the voiceovers and everything I do, that's in studio time. So thank you. Did Pope Francis illuminate J.D. Vance and inspire him to be a better person? Did J.D.'s insipid presence contribute to Pope Francis' death? Exhausting it would be. Rest in peace, beautiful soul. Oh, I thought you meant rest in peace, beautiful soul, like Francis. I mean, I just feel that Francis told him exactly how he saw it. Vance was he's insipid, is a great word. And he could care less what the Pope had to say to him. He doesn't respect anybody. If he doesn't respect himself, how can he respect the Pope? You know? But I did see a great meme where he's holding that trophy and then he broke it and it fell on the floor, whatever. And the next caption was him shaking the hand of the Pope. Oops. He didn't have anything to do with, Francis leaving. Hi, Donna. Felon 45 favorable ratings are dropping like lead bricks. Is it wishful thinking that it will accelerate his departure from office? No, it's not wishful thinking. People are fed up. And it's like, we're done. However, like I said earlier, the House Republicans are not going to file any, articles of impeachment with Mike Johnson there. But it does eventually happen. But it does speed up? Yes, it does. And I don't think people are running out buying a Cybertruck anytime soon either. Hi, Carmen. How did the orange mangled moose feel at Pope Francis' funeral, not being the center of attention as he always expected it wherever he goes? Thank you. I actually feel underneath that he knew it. He knew it. But at least he didn't push his, like, remember the very time during one of the summits, he pushed his way and knocked everybody over to get in the front? That didn't happen this time. Probably because he doesn't have enough energy. Also, maybe since they were in a church, the evil entities that carrying him around like Weekend at Bernie's weren't able to be in the church. So he kind of just sat there and fell asleep. He did like a tottery old man. He really, really did. And then that picture of Zelensky and him speaking, it looked like Zelensky was given a what for, and he was just sitting there, But I think he wanted those pictures taken so it looks like he's in control, like, oh, he's the great peacemaker when history is written. Yeah. He's the peacemaker or breaker. He didn't make anything. But anyway, he was like it got to him. But then again, he was texting, he was falling asleep. He was ignored. But then again, he should be used to that because that was most of his life, and that's why he's acted so obnoxious. And now that he's president, he has to get everybody, you were mean to me. I'm going to make you cow down and bow to me, your new king. So that's what I think has a lot to do with it. Who went to the funeral with Trump? It didn't look like Melania. They said it was Melania. I know. I did a double take too. She probably didn't have on her face tightening cream. But it was her. Brennan, do you see the reversal of Dobbs' decision happening soon? Thank you. Mid-2026. Again, I caution people when they ask me the word soon, because upstairs, the guides, whatever you want to call it, their time frame, it may be a little bit different than ours. So, but I'm feeling mid-2026 to the end of 2026, things get taken care of with Dobbs. Okay. Hi, NCAT9544. Do you see Pope Francis being canonized as a saint? Actually, I do. There has to be some miracles in his name that he brought forward. But I do feel eventually, yes. It may take about 5 years. Maybe less. But it's going to happen. Okay? Hi, Earth Mama. Is Trump even aware that his numbers are way down? Not like we do. I don't think they tell him all the bad news all the time. How many times can you clean the wall with ketchup stains? When he throws his burgers at the wall. I don't think they tell him a lot. I mean, like I said, he did not know that a general was assassinated in Moscow. He didn't know it. So it's obvious they're not telling him everything. Hi, Spirit Animal 1212. Who do you see winning the Canadian election tomorrow? Mark Carney from the Liberal Party or Mini Trump Pierre Poilievre from the Conservative Party? I still see Mark Carney. It's going to be tight, but I see Mark Carney. So, but I know you're not going to celebrate with Kentucky bourbon, and that's okay by me. Tomorrow's election day in Canada. Do you see Mark Carney as the winner? Yes, I do, Deborah. Yes, I do. I said a long time ago, too. Even before Trudeau stepped down. Hello, Arthur. Do you see Steve Miller being arrested? Eventually. But not in the middle of a parking lot like the judge. He'll probably be given a chance to surrender himself. So, there you go. Oh, cool. Is Trump aware that the election interference will eventually be proven and made public? He thinks he's above it all. But then he's even admitted it in public. Those swing states, Elon with those computers, he knew what he's doing, and, we won. You don't have to be Mr. Magoo to see that one. It'll be proven. But he thinks he got away with it. Little does he know. Act 3 hasn't started yet. Hi, Nancy. What was route here at White House this last Friday and Saturday? That's the head of NATO? I'm asking because I'm not sure if that's who you're talking about. So having meetings because Trump wasn't there or something. Well, Trump left Friday night for the funeral. I'm not sure, but okay. I just want to say one thing. There was something I predicted a year ago. I said that George Santos would be going to prison. And lo and behold, 87 months, is it? More than 7 years. And I said that he'd have to learn the song Prisoners of Love from the Producers. And I think he's going to have to learn that. And When You're Good to Mama. Because he's doing time. He's not going to go away with it. And at the time, people said, things aren't moving fast enough. It has to happen now. It happens when it happens. That's the only thing. Justice does take time. But as Glenn Kirshner says, justice matters. And this one did matter. So I just had to throw that up there. That we got it right. We all did, because I think everybody saw that. Okay. Hi, Matthew. Hello, Arthur. Do your guides know exactly how Trump cheated on the vote counts? I keep on getting it's a combination of things. I feel there was a hardware issue with the tabulations. And put it this way, Tesla's now being sued because their odometers were putting more mileage on the cars so that they would not have to live up to the warranties. Like so many miles, you get this. They were speeding up the miles. So if they can do that with just an odometer, believe me, they can do stuff with. He did something with the voting machine. And what I keep on saying is, if the Democrats won while Trump was in office, how come they didn't win when Biden was in office? If they're such good at stealing things, Mr. Trump, answer that question. But no, I do feel that ballots went missing on purpose. There are people in some of the registrar's office that I feel destroyed or removed ballots that were not counted. And that's one way, computer-wise, and just more than one computer way of doing it is how I see it. That's what my guides get. But my guides have told me, though, that they have calculated, and they have recreated how it was done. So that's what they'll bring forward, the proof of how it was actually done in more ways than one. Okay? I hope that answers Matthew. But it will catch up to him. Hi, Jane. How bad will the food and commodity storage be, and how long will it last? You know, when the FDA is not telling you where the like the salad, there was some salad that had some salmonella, and they wouldn't say where it came from and stuff like that. That's going to take a while to figure all that out, but that's all going to change. As far as food shortages, I'm not predicting where there are empty shelves on the grocery store. Or maybe at Target and Walmart because nobody's shopping there anymore. But as that I know, but as far as I don't see massive food shortages, I'd see there may be some hiccups on the distributions, like when stuff coming over from the other countries now with the tariffs and everything may get delayed and be more expensive. But I'm going to tell you, by the end of the year, things start straightening itself out. Okay? I don't see where all of a sudden you have to build a bunker and fill it full of food and that lasts for 25 years. Okay? Unless you want to. Hi, Rachel H. Thank you for doing this. As you know, I have no life. I have to do something. Had you already spoken about what will happen once Trump is taken down with the authors of Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation? First of all, I don't call it the Heritage Foundation. I call it the Heretic Foundation, for lack of better words. They will be getting in trouble. But, as I've always said, they're all going to point to each other. So, he did it. So it ends up being like a circular firing squad. And people will be removed. And it's going to be a glorious thing. Because once they're removed, the names start showing up in the computers again of like the females who were buried in Arlington National Cemetery, the names of the black soldiers who gave their lives will be back on the computers, and all that will be reinstated. So that's one thing that's going to be happening when Trumpty Dumpty goes down. And all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put that brain back together again. But yeah, it's, you can't go after somebody for writing something per se. But if they act on it, that's a whole nother story. But it's the person that enacted it and made it into law or whatever. They're the ones that get in trouble. But Heritage Foundation is behind so much of this, and they played the long game. But they're going to lose in the long run, is what the guides tell me. Okay? So, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what the guides tell me. Okay? Hi, Arthur. When will the federal government end the federal hiring freeze? By the end of this year. No later than February of 2026. And I like your kitty cat, Sarah. Hi, Peggy. I heard that RFK Jr. wants to get all the info on our prescriptions. Will that happen? No, it will not. He also, remember, he went and said he wants to get a list and start a registry of all autistic children and people that are autistic, and how they get the information is through from doctor's offices, from prescriptions, from even from the what is it called, the fit thing, on your wrist. I forget the name. I feel like Linda G now. I forget the name, but that all this because of HIPAA laws. So they're not going to be able to do it. I mean, and that whole thing about autism, if that didn't read like the Nazis with eugenics, like getting rid of all the children that may have special needs or anything like that, or cripples or polio, they would, keep a list of all those children. They were disappeared. So the thing is, they're not going to get a hold of our prescriptions. Besides that, nobody can afford them anyway at this point. I was joking when I was at the pharmacy last, and she said, and I said to her, she said, "Can I help you?" I said, "I guess it's my money or my life." She did not find that funny. Other people did, though. So, hi, Ron. Love to know who will the Canadian federal election. I'm worried the Conservatives may make it. No, I feel if Trump had not done the tariff thing and gone after trying to make Canada the 51st state, I don't even think Trump knows that King Charles rules Canada. But keep the faith. When you go to bed at night, do your most benevolent outcomes, and also put out there in the Neville Goddard technique of you feel it, you sense it, you live it, that Carney won. Okay? Hi, Anya. Arthur, could you please tell us what you see about earthquake volcano activities for the rest of April? Thanks. I feel there's activity. I'm not seeing Los Angeles falling into the ocean. I do feel there's going to be quake. I've always felt above in the ocean outside of Oregon and Seattle, but I don't see tsunamis. But I do feel that, it would be felt. But I don't see where buildings are being toppled here in the States. I do feel just some movements, maybe some 4s, 4.5s, things of that nature. Possibly even in the Midwest where they're not used to it. But I've always felt something happening up around Italy. But I don't see like any Mount St. Helens, and I don't see Yellowstone National Park blowing up right now. Maybe in about 100 years, if not or plus, but not right now. I don't see it. Okay. Hi, Pippi Longstockings. Hi, Arthur. Will Karen Reed be acquitted? I'm sorry, I don't know who that is off the top of my head. I get a yes on it, but I don't know who this is. The thing is, a lot of us, I can barely keep track of what I have for breakfast sometimes. So sometimes I may not be able to answer the questions because I don't know who you're talking about. Because I just, I'm a bit of a news junkie, but on certain things. Sorry. Jenny S., do we have a serial killer in New England? Random bodies popping up. Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. I'm actually getting a yes on that, and it may be 2 people, not just one. They will be caught October, or by October. It's not going to be like the Zodiac Killer where they don't find them. Hi, Amy. What will happen when Congress and Supreme Court go on vacation? Who will protect us from Trump? The lower courts. The lower courts. And just because they're on vacation doesn't mean they cannot come forward for an emergency situation. That's what the guy just told me. I don't know how it all works, but I'm just being told, lower courts will take care of things. The Supreme Court, if they're on vacation, what I just heard, and I could be wrong, but they can come through for an emergency session or something like that. And same thing with Congress. Okay. Barb, hi, Arthur. Will the next governor of Georgia be a woman? Do you have a certain person in mind? I'm not sure at this moment. They're not telling me. But I do feel Ossoff. Was it Ossoff? Is that his name? He gets in. I think they're trying to get Marjorie Taylor Greene to run against him. But as far as the governorship, I'm not getting an answer on that at this moment. So maybe by next week I'll have an answer, but I don't this time. Okay. Is it going to be Stacey Abrams? I'm not sure. Okay, put it that way. Hi, Mary. Do you feel an earthquake coming in the British Isles? Ooh, interesting. Remember I said there could be some little shakes here and there, like around 4? Possibly. Again, I don't see buildings toppling over or anything like that in the British Isles. Acadian Proud, how long will the U.S. be without FEMA and the support that it provides after disasters? Yeah, Sarah Huckabee Sanders Huckabee just got a real rude awakening when he wouldn't help her. 2020. I feel as we get into 2026, okay, it's back in place and better. Tinkerbell, what do you see happening to Pete Hegseth? Seems he's getting away with an awful lot. That whole thing about spending our tax dollars for a makeup studio, please. This is what happens when you have a former Fox person running things. He's still going to be. He's going to be asked to, I feel actually he may be asked to resign quietly, and he may cite some ridiculous reasons for it before he's tossed out. But when the new administration comes in, the whole thing with Signalgate and using, unclassified servers and stuff like that, or whatever you want to call it, he's going to get in some trouble in that. And you thought, well, she had a server, Hillary Clinton. No, what he was doing was 1,000 times worse. Okay. And I feel it does catch up to him and everybody else that was on those lines. You don't have why would your wife be there and your brother and lawyer when you're talking about war plans? That's crazy. It will catch up to him. Renee breathes nitrox. Hi, Arthur. With the rollbacks of the FDA, will our food and water be safe to consume? Will Coors and companies adhere to protocols already knowing the risks? Most people will stick to the protocols that are already in place. The ones that go against it are the ones that have been lobbying Congress for day one to get rid of things so they can pollute our water, our air, pollute everything. So they don't have to pay for, what it takes for not to pollute. But I don't feel there'll be a time where we all have to boil our water and stuff like that. But I have to be honest with you, it does freak me out a bit, some of it. But I do feel things get back in place as we get into 2026. So I'm going to read that. Hi, Juan. Do I see Trump being decertified or impeached? Right now, I feel the man is certifiable. So I read it. But what I said earlier was I felt there will be articles of impeachment. But I feel you have to be living in order to be impeached. It can't be done, once you're crossed over. But he will be removed. Whatever words you want to use with it, I'm not sure. But I do feel that he is removed from office. And more than one reason. Would MTG be ousted from Congress for an evil comment about the Pope's death on X? They're not going to. She may be censored. Maybe. I think she's hideous what she did. But then again, nobody pays attention to her. I really feel she says these obnoxious things just to get her name out there so that the low-educated voter sees her, oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I've heard of her, and votes for her. But I do feel the way she made the exact timing of making purchases with the bonds and everything, that's going to come to bite her big time. And I don't want to hear, well, Nancy Pelosi insider, really? Where's the proof? I'm sorry. It's just that when I did the NDE interview, some of the comments afterwards were hideous, but I didn't take it personally at all. But they were just saying, but what about Nancy Pelosi? What about Hillary Clinton? What about, all the talking points that you hear on Fox? And remember, Fox News, when it was going through the lawsuit, they said, we're not news, we're entertainment. Okay? It's more like a horror show. Tinkerbell again. When will Pam Bondi be held accountable for her lies? Sooner than later. Again, when the whole administration starts going down and a new one comes in, that's when they're going to be taken to jail. Things are going to happen. She is going to lose her law license. She will be disbarred. That I can tell you. That I do get. It will happen. When I'm not giving you exact dates, times, and moments because the guides aren't giving this to us, but when it happens, it's going to happen. Okay? I'm sorry that I can't answer you specifically exactly the way you want. But this is what I get. In the end of the day, it will happen. It's like, when is the cake done? When it's done. All right? I didn't mean to go off on you on that, but everybody's asked me when. And then when I say something, and then, well, you were wrong. So at this point, why should I even tell you? Is what I feel like saying, but I'm not. I'm still trying to give you what I'm getting. Okay? Maria, will the traitor part take him out of the office versus the tariff? It's going to be a combination. The tariff things is not going to take Trump out of the office. It's the part that the illegal things that he has done. Okay? That's what I get. And voter fraud and everything else. And, interference, which is a federal crime. And again, I'm sorry, I just didn't mean to go off on you on that, but I am human. I joke on my halo just like everybody else. Hi, Dot. Running with the tone of meeting between Trump and Zelensky. Does Zelensky know how no, we Americans do not want Trump doing these things to Zelensky? Yes, he knows. He knows. I think it was by the grace of God that he didn't bitch slap him in front of everybody. So, yeah, Trump. I really feel Trump could care less what was said. He just wanted the photo op. And then the press saying, oh, how wonderful, incredible photos. Please. There's a photo op. But Zelensky, he knows the heart of the American people are not same as Trump. But then again, Trump doesn't have a heart. So for entertainment purposes only. Like I said last week, when people say, why were the doctors so amazed when they did Trump's, medical examination? They've never met anybody that lives and breathes without a heart and a brain. Hi, Stephanie. Love your readings and appreciate your guidance. Will all of the Trump cabinet and followers in Congress go with him when he goes? It can't happen soon enough. Yes, that's why I said that block in history books will be known as the art of the squeal, because everybody's going to be pointing towards each other and squealing and talking so that they don't get in trouble. They're all going down. Don't forget, a new administration comes in, we get a new cabinet. And I love that sign. I've seen better looking cabinets than IKEA. Hi, Deanne. Question, will the Liberal leadership with election in Australia? Eventually. I don't know if there's an election right now, but I do feel eventually. I read for a client a while back in Australia, and I did feel that things would certainly turn over there within 2 years, is what I was reading. So that's how I read that one. Dan, will the budget get passed, and how bad will the cuts be? It's barely going to get passed, but whatever those cuts are, I don't think will happen immediately. Medicaid may be in trouble for a month or two, but not as bad as people think. I mean, it just seems like there's going to be a lot of confusion. But then as we get more towards the end of the year, things start writing themselves out again. Okay. So I'm seeing it. Artemis, do you see DeSantis going to jail for the $10 million that he had them sent to his wife instead of the Hope Florida Foundation? Yes, I said that when it happened. In fact, back in 2023, I think that's when it was, that I said he and his wife are going to get in a lot of trouble with this money stuff. That, they took money and they did not put it back into the foundations. And yeah, he's going to get in trouble too. They all are. I think the GOP should stand for good old prison. Will Pam Bondi's brother become the president of DC Bar Association? I looked at that. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, that's like the Medici family. Florence Smith. Hi, Arthur. Do you see the ACA will end under this administration? It's not going to end. They say and they say and they say. They know if they were to vote the ACA out, they'll have to pack their bags because they will not be reelected. Not one of them will be reelected. They know that. And I think we have time for one or two more questions, if they're here. Arthur, how do you discern between your guides tell you and your own intuition? They're all kind of the same. I mean, the intuition stuff comes from my guides. So, I mean, that's why I equate it, where if I'm feeling something, they're allowing me to feel, if that makes sense. It's coming from them. That's how I feel. Tinkerbell, one last time. Why are they not talking much about the security breaches much anymore. I feel there's been a news blackout on all that, just like you didn't hear much about the protests. As far as the press, as far as Bondi and the rest of them, oh, don't look at that. We don't care about that. Because they're idiots. I don't think these people ever took a civics test. They don't understand what it is to have security. They're playing at it. They're playing games. It's like, hey, let's get together and have a slumber party and let's pretend we're this. It's all cosplay. I felt sorry that Christy Nunn lost her $3,000. Where's she going to get the money for her next hair extensions? Anyway, next. I also love your humor and spirit. At least somebody does. Do you think Felon is in the forefront to help us explore the genius of Nikola Tesla and the value of 369 frequency? No. I feel Elon used the name Tesla. I actually feel everything that man does is information that somebody else started, and he put his name on a lot of this stuff. That's how I read him. But if you want to know what at the value of 369 frequency is, and it's not necessarily just the frequency, but it's a pattern that Tesla used. In fact, I have a video on there on my timeless videos of manifestation using Tesla's technique of 369. 369 are very important numbers according to Tesla. And if we really understood it, we'd understand the universe. So check out what I wrote, but I don't think, I would not give Elon Musk the credit to bring forward who Nikola Tesla was. It'll be done by others. Okay? So, bad hair day. Oh my God, thank you so much. No, I don't have to have a bad hair day. Island Breast, thank you so much again. Tracy Spriggs, thank you. You guys are so generous. Ms. Jones, thank you. This is incredible. Thank you so much. I'm humbled. So, again, thank you for all that you guys do. Oh, it's just incredible. Thank you for all that you guys do to help me on this channel. I try and do my best. I am human. Like I said, I choke on my halo like everybody else. And if you're looking for a reading, I'm available. Just go to my website, arthareaseyourmind.com. I try and be here every Sunday. I try and be here. Yes, English is my first language. I try to do the show every Sunday at 3:30 Pacific time. And I really enjoy the fact that you guys are all here. We have 2424. Oh my God, it's an angel number, 2424 in the room right now. So we're moving forward with all this. And again, everyone, none of us are alone in any of this. So I'm so glad you're in the community here. Come by, go into the chats. I know some of you are friends in the chats and that this is your support group, and we're here to support you. None of us here are alone. All right? It may seem it at times, but as I always say on every show, safety in numbers. And this nightmare is going to be over. As I said in one show, the whole country seems to be suffering from battered wife syndrome. And one night we just wake up and say, I'm done. Okay. Oh, we're now at 2323, another angel number. Thank you so much. So anyway, with all that being said, thank you for spending your Sunday here. And take care of yourselves, take care of others. And thank you, Lorraine. And above all, stay amazing, because you guys really, really, really are. All right. So thanks again. See you next week. And in between, bye.